Rest in peace, Rakshas, we barely knew yo ass. Welcome one and all to another roundup of Berserk. We've had a few episodes to round up and talk about in this ongoing continuation experience. Episode 379 is called Those Who Dance Through the Depths of Hell and is 21 pages. As we've come to expect, the artwork and the colour pages continue to be the main part of the episode that is really entertaining to see. Now, it's an interesting few releases to recap, because there's a few things that are brought up in the continuation and then never really explained, and I feel like this group of episodes is the heaviest concentration of that so far. We have it established that Qliphoth has crossed over despite the worlds already having been merged, and then this just goes away without any warning. We have Rakshas pop up out of nowhere, but apparently he had died. That goes unexplained when he now dies again, but I suppose one would think this should lead to something eventually. Erica's back. That's nice. Don't get me wrong, I am very happy she didn't die off screen, but it's a shame she didn't do anything or amount to anything. Like, after Ricketts escaped from Falconia, like Iron Man from the cave with all of his inventions, I thought maybe Erica would get involved with stuff, maybe be his muse, maybe help the tools become widespread among the Bakiraka, or, in the case of the continuation, just the Kushans. But beggars can't be choosers, and I am definitely a beggar. The colour page for this one is nice. Azan particularly takes the golden prize this time, looking the closest to the way Miura would have drawn him. Previously, I would have said this panel took the golden prize. But yeah, Isidro was planning on leaving the whole group, it seems. For a moment at least. Probably another throwaway moment we shouldn't take too seriously. But that is a bit bizarre, and not like Isidro at all. It's not like he wouldn't just die instantaneously if he escaped anyway, and he's not dumb enough that he wouldn't realise this. I hate to pile on the inconsistencies, but I do wonder why they established the witches losing their powers only to have them all use their powers again. How's that happened? Also, Puck loves Betsy, but where is Betsy? And why did an apostle appear and Qliphoth move all the way over here, but Betsy didn't react? Essentially, they forgot to show it, but when it comes to an opportunity to have a Bahamut go weird and have a brand bleed, I feel like it's fruit ripe for the picking, and important iconography to Berserk that Studio Gaga can't afford to slip if they're attempting the unabridged continuation that they are. And the release closes out with Rakshas reaching Guts. Episode 380, Shadows Die Twice. Colour page on this one is sensational, yet again. Rakshas finds Guts, and Guts could not give less of a shit. In fact, he's a welcome visitor, an angel of sorts. But just as Rakshas is about to dispose of Guts, Salat comes and puts a stop to it, killing an apostle for the second time extremely easily. Is Rakshas dead? Logic would dictate that he is not. His human form of a body should appear right there. And Gaga and Mori have established that the guy thought he was dead already. The more that time's gone by, the more I'm willing to be reasonable with this one. If they wrote him to die, because after all, Miura never established that, then they did that with a purpose. And then they wrote him to come back, and then to die again. I imagine they'll have him come back once more. Shadows die thrice, perhaps? And there is also a bit of foreshadowing between Rakshas wanting to have a pop at Griffith that Miura left us with. I think they're playing the long game with that one. But anyway, Salat is angry at Guts for not doing anything, which only seems off because they chose to depict Guts without any weapons. If they'd kept him in his armor, or even just with his sash of throwing blades, or even just his prosthetic hand, there would have been reason for Salat, who had been humiliated through defeat by Guts before, to have a pop off at him. But because Guts is as vulnerable as he possibly could have been, it just doesn't stand. Like, what was he supposed to do? Then, this release ends with Shiake still stuck in her coma, traversing the spirit tree to Falconia to find Casca. Episode 381 is called A Crescent Moon Shines on the Exile's Back, and has 21 pages. It seems the chiefs and the generals were almost all killed by the spawn of Qliphoth, and those who remain all live in fear of what's to come. Daiba throws Guts under the bus as the harbinger of all this with his brand, and gets him exiled from the city to the far end of the world. Shiake remains in her astral form, and we don't get to see any more from her with this one. Essentially, it seems this whole event served the purpose of collapsing the society that had been set up in the East. So now there is no last bastion of humanity left, and the leftover Kushan are gonna have a go of it on their own, whilst Guts is separated from the group. Weirdly enough, something that I've not seen people mention is that this fulfills one of the points Miura brought up a while ago, something that would happen next, that Guts would separate from the group. though it's happened in a part of the story I really didn't expect it to. Also, I should probably clarify that so far as we can see, Daiba and Isidro are close to Guts as well. So the main group, aside from Daiba and Isidro, are still in the capital. Daiba has presumably thrown Guts under the bus to whisk Guts away so that he can have sole custody, potentially for some nefarious reasons, and that's something that Salat thinks about too, thinking back to the man-made Behelit that Ganishka used. Which is interesting because they've suddenly made Daiba out to be a bit of a dark horse, after he kind of recluded himself from the spotlight of working under Ganishka, and seemed to have turned a new page. So it's odd to think he's back at it again, or for Salat to even humour such a thing. But I guess we'll see, as this is to be continued right now. Episode 382 is called Burial Chamber and has 20 pages. As I alluded before, it turns out Azan was also with Isidro, though this looks more like a late addition when you factor in that Isidro was clearly alone at the end of the last one. I will say there are a few images of Guts in this one that comprise some of the best artwork that Studio Gaga have produced. This one especially. I don't seem to recall another panel being from this angle, so it's not a trace job, it's properly just channeling the man himself into the drawing. A little round of applause for that one. Guts is led to a strange, tree-enclosed building that Daiba refers to as the end of the world, and he is locked away, to the disappointment of Isidro, the disdain of Salat, and the complete apathy of everyone else. The goal in mind here is to have Guts be out of the picture in the short term, I imagine. Now, like Casca, they can put the complex writing aside for a while whilst they get the pieces together for the other characters, so that when they are ready, they can tackle the ending head on, with everyone on the same page. There is also potential here for Guts to attract a few astral creatures in the dark and be forced to confront them, unless there's something else in the tower waiting for him. I say tower, it's not really even a tower, it's more like a hut. With the dead monks outside, it could also be something like a chamber with another purpose in mind. Maybe it's like that quietest room in the world or something, where you can't spend more than 10 minutes in it without going insane. So maybe Guts confronts the beast within himself at this point, but we'll have to see because that's where this one ends as well. And there doesn't appear to be another release lined up, with this one concluding Volume 43, coming out this August. But to answer the title of the video, is Berserk still good? Not in the same way that classic Berserk was good, but when compared to your average manga, I'd still say it's not bad. There's a lot of trash out there, man. Someone on skullknight.net once described this as Berserk light, and I've not been able to get that out of my head. It's a fun read, but you do have to detach yourself from the kind of manga that it was for it to be enjoyable, which is a shame. But yeah, in it for the ending more than anything else now. If you're interested in theories on that ending, go and check out one of my latest videos, Secret Lore in Berserk. Maybe the best one I've made, and it recaps my original theory I made years ago, whilst elaborating more with the more recent content in mind. I also gave away the Berserk Diablo crossover code, so one of you guys got to enjoy all the cosmetics that they had. And Blizzard even sent over this vinyl and controller. I forgot to record the controller originally, because it came in this box, and I was like, why would they send me a standard old Xbox controller?
What the hell?
Completely oblivious to the fact that this is customized. And then I opened it, and there we go. Right after I uploaded the video. Oh well, looks pretty cool though. But yeah, check out that video, and thanks to my patrons. Everyone else, thanks for subscribing, comment your thoughts down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.